This is a tutorial for setting up a domain name for hosting on GoDaddy to host a WordPress site. And in this example, we're going to be using a domain name that is not in the original GoDaddy account. It's actually hosted or purchased elsewhere on a different register. So you're going to find these different registers to all be, have different ways on how you can do things, but the basic idea is the same. So what we need to do is we need to go into the register that is where the domain name was purchased, and we need to go to where you can edit the DNS settings. You can see right now, currently the DNS settings are going to these shopco links. So I'm going to go ahead and go to GoDaddy to find out what our name servers are. Now, prior to setting this up, what I've done is I have logged into GoDaddy and I've added the domain in the back of the hosting center. So what you're going to do that is you're going to log into GoDaddy, and then you're going to click on My Account, and you're going to get these little expandable accordion areas. You're going to click on Web Hosting, and you're going to click on Launch, and that's going to bring you right into the hosting center. Once you get into the hosting center, you're going to go to Hosted Domains, and then you're going to click on Add Domain, and you're going to add the domain name in here. And if you want the domain name to set up to go to a specific folder, you can choose Browse, and you can choose the folders that you have set it up under. So in this case, we haven't set it up to go to any folder yet, but you can choose whatever folder it may be that you have created, or you can create a new folder at the destination, and it will add it into the FTP over here. So at this point right now, I have already added the domain name Jersey City Homes in here, so I don't need to do this. But what you would do is go ahead and just type the domain name in here, choose your folder, and hit OK. Once you have added it, it's going to take some time setting up, and it's going to tell you pending setup. I needed to do this ahead of time so that it was set up and ready to go, so that when I showed you the video, I could show you where to find the correct settings for the domain name. So I did all this prior to the video so it would be set up. So you want to do this step first, and then you're going to go and you're going to log into the domain name in its registrar and go to the DNS settings so you can edit them. And here's the reason why. Once you've set up the domain name, you're going to need to come over here and go to More, and then go to Hosted Domains. My bad, actually. We're going to go to, we want to actually look at the domain name and see the settings for it. So bear with me. We're going to go to Home, and we're going to go to DNS Manager. Because what we want to do is we want to see the actual domain names and their settings. So now that I'm in here, this is the main domain on the hosting. I'm going to change the zone, and I'm going to go to Jersey City Homes. And this is going to tell me what I need to know. Now there's a couple of different things I need to do in this case. And the first thing is I need the DNS records. So this tells me what DNS records I need to change it to in the other register. And now you may notice sometimes when you go into hosting, you're going to have a server details for the DNS. You can preview this and look at these. These name servers are not the ones that you're going to use to set this domain name up. They would be if this was the primary domain, but when you're setting up secondary domains for other purposes within a hosting account, that maybe you want to make multiple hosting, multiple websites within this hosting account, this is not always going to work. So the best way to do it, like I said, is to add the domain name ahead of time, and then go ahead and go to the DNS Manager, and then go here and scroll down, and you're going to see these DNS records. These are the ones that you need to change that domain name to. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to change it here. So ns03.domaincontrol.com and ns04. Now, it's important to note this one has 3. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this third one. It only needs 2. It's important for you to note that there are some A records that are set up on this domain. And as soon as we change these name server records, all of these records are going to be null and void. We want them to transfer over with the current settings. So we need to set them up ahead of time. So in order to do that, while we're in the name server right here, we're going to go ahead and set up these other settings as well. So starting with the A records. We have a blank one that goes here. We're going to leave that. We have this A record right here, which is important, autodiscover.jerseycityhomes, and we want to make sure we set that up. So this is remember, an A record. So you go to the DNS manager, and you're going to go ahead and go to your A records, and you're going to add it here. And you're going to set it up to go to the same then we're going to go back and we have mail and we have www. We're fine with that. CNAME, we definitely want to set up the CNAME. Oops. So we're going to go down here to I'm sorry, I put the A record in the wrong place. This is the CNAME. Go back and grab my CNAME. And then let me go grab my A record. Fuck up to the top. That there. Let's try that again. Here we go. Here's my A record. And that goes up here under A records. And then you can see I have added the CNAME here. And actually it was really good that I showed you that because you're going to notice that it turned red when I did it wrong. So I was able to correct that. So A records at the top, CNAME is next. And I don't need to add the mail or the www because those should already be in here. And www is, mail is. Actually, we will change the mail only because I notice one other difference. The MX records are set up separately. And the MX records have to do with the mail. So we want to make sure these MX records match what's currently here. So actually we're going to undo that. We'll leave that one there. We're going to change these. And we are going to add, actually we're going to delete and delete. And we're going to add. So first we're going to have the host and the priority will be 1. Quick add, and again, copy, priority is 5 on that one, and then we're going to have this one, priority is also 5, priority is 10 on this one, and 10 on the last one. Your email for this domain is set up under Google Mail, so we have to do this ahead of time. Now there is also a text record for a site verification, and we can add that here. Let's see. Sometimes these are different. So in this case, I believe what we have to do is set it up like this. Yep, and it's correct. Alright, now I've added all my different records that go with this domain that are different. And typically if these are all set up to the same thing as the main company, which is Shopco, and we know when we changed the name servers they were Shopco. I know these weren't Shopco. They say Google, so I knew they were different. If you have any questions you want to ask about that. So, but definitely set these all up in the new domain before you save this name servers, because once you save this name servers, you're not going to have access to any of this. None of this will be on this setting anymore. The entire domain will be controlled over here, and if you can't copy this information over, then you will lose it the minute you hit save. I also made an email or a document where I saved all of this information as well, so that I could have a backup just in case I lost it. So I'm going to go over here, come over here, and save my file zone here. See, I have some things to fix, and I will go ahead and fix those prior to me fixing all of this. So those will be fixed here in a moment. Now I'm going to go ahead and come over here, and I'm going to save. Okay, and really quickly, I did go back and figure out what I did wrong on the zone file editor for the MX records. Again, everyone is different, so this is just an example, but I needed to put an @ symbol in here. I needed to put the name of the MX record here, the priority here. So when I save this, it will save this time, and everything will be okay, and it's good to go. So now this domain name is set up exactly the way that it was on the other registrar, except that it's now going to be available inside the hosting account for me to actually install WordPress on, which will be my next setup. That's going to be the next thing that we're going to do. So this has been a tutorial on how to set up an outside domain name in your hosting account on Godaddy so that you can use it to set up a new WordPress install. I do want to point out one last thing. Of all the different things that I added to the DNS records for this domain name, as far as the A records, the C name, if you are hosting the domain name here at Godaddy for the hosting account, and the email and everything else is going to be here, and there weren't any, it was just a domain name you purchased somewhere else, and it didn't have all these extra records, you could skip all of that. The only thing you would need to do is change the name servers here based on the DNS management and what those records were that you found here. And that would be the only step. It would be quick and easy. You take these name records, you come here, you pop them in, and you save it. And that way your email and everything else is changed here, and you don't have to do anything else. It literally would take you about 2 minutes to complete the entire thing. In this particular case, I just happened to notice that the email was set up separately, and so I had to change those MX records ahead of time on the DNS records, and it's a good example to use on a more complicated setup. But an easy setup, all you're going to do is change these name servers, hit save, and come back here and you're good to go. The domain name should be propagated within 24 to 48 hours, and you're ready to go ahead and use it. Thanks for watching. If you have any other questions, you can always shoot me an email or go to YourSiteNeedsMe.com, and be sure to subscribe to my channel to view more videos.